like, I'm still 6'9". Hi.
All right, we are live. And tonight we're back talking about Chucky, of course.
We come at you live every Wednesday to see what our little Chucksters gotten into, and these mini-sodes go up the next day. So we're not editing because we're drinking. So don't even the ums and the uhs are there for a reason.
True.
That
Don't judge
part.
us. Right. And again, we're joined by Ryan from Brother Ghoulish. Welcome back, Ryan.
Hey y'all. Ooh, I'm feeling it. Yes.
All right, but before we get into this week's episode, Sharai, let's go back in time and let us know our poll results from last week's episode.
Awesome. So if you listen to us on Spotify for the Chucky minisodes, wow, there is a poll where you get to vote for the best moment of the week. And last week's moment you voted for was the kids stomping melted Chucky. That was your favorite moment. It brought families together. Like, congrats, team.
I agree.
That teamwork. It makes the dream work.
All right. Well, now let's get into this week's episode 6, Cape Queer. Okay, so our discussion topic for today: do we think the killing of 2 regular characters in one episode is a warning shot? Like, is everybody in danger? I think so. I think no holds barred these last 2 episodes.
Listen, I'm surprised Logan's still there. Look.
I mean, I'm not, because you kind of have to have a negative. You know what I mean? Like, they killed off Junior's only like emotional tie.
They killed out everybody. Like, they killed out 2 regulars last night in dramatic ways. And so, like, I feel like, because I was out like, they're going to kill Devin tonight. I see the chandelier. And they were like, Swerve, missed ya.
They tricked ya. Yeah. What about you, Ryan?
I would have to say, like, it's definitely a warning shot. Like, it's about to be like some Macbeth type shit. Everybody's dying. Like, in the final act, it's going to explode like in Scream 3. But this time, there's going to be bodies like flying in the air.
Yes. yes.
Airport last night. I lived my best life.
Okay. There was so much that happened on last night's episode. I say last night, even though I just got done watching it, so it's like I'm still feeling all my feels. So let's get into it. Whew.
I just want to say that fuck you, Andy, as Andy and Kyle shot Charlie. Chucky made me giggle so hard. And it was just enough Pulp Fiction and just enough camp and just enough don't forget what the fuck you watching. I live my best life.
I'm just loving as they add more of these original characters into this. I get that it's towards the end of the season, but I like that they're adding them and we're getting to reconnect with our Chucky family, and doing it in a really fun, creative way, like making Andy and his babysitter like
Partners in crime.
Yeah.
His sister, well, his foster sister.
Oh, okay. It's been so long, I didn't revisit those movies.
Yeah, no, but yeah, no, it's fun because I was like, how are we gonna see them? Because it's been built up now. What are we gonna do? And they were like, census takers. Do you have any other dolls, child? And I was like, oh, this is getting spicy already.
For some reason, I forgot that she survived Child's Play too. Like it slipped my mind. So I was very happy to see her.
Because I know she pops up. I think it's in either Curse or Cult. Because I was like, who this? And it was like flashbacks, like, oh, that's right, he had a foster sister because they were the ones that survived that time.
I do like that they give us like little split-second flashbacks to be like, oh, okay, yeah, that's that person. Okay, thank you.
You got
I appreciate that too.
Yeah,
30-year franchise. If you don't give us a little bit of something, we'd be like, who this? Who are you?
Who are you again?
Where am I?
It's not shade. We watch so much horror, like it just happens. But it had to have been Cult. Because I've watched Curse so many times. Like, I love Curse of Chucky so much.
Mm-hmm.
You're right. Because she finds the bits of Chucky in his house when he's not there. And in order for him to not be there, you got to be, yeah.
And that's why she brings it up in this episode. Like, why'd you have that head for so long? And not tell me nothing about it.
2 weeks, they ain't talked about it. That's a family.
Right.
So I want, okay. My first discussion topic. Devin's mom. Because I went through a roller coaster with this woman on this episode, like I do most episodes, but really in this episode. Because, number one, why did she think this teacher did it? Like the only really kind of positive person in these kids' lives. And she's like, you killed the principal. And I'm like,
I can answer that, Trent. It's because she is the sloppiest cop ever. Like, it was so on brand for her to like bust in the classroom. Everybody freeze! And points the gun at the teacher, and like there's like literally dissected frogs like everywhere. Like, I really was disappointed, but not surprised. And then the
and
black
the teacher
line
was
was
like,
back today.
What got to me is that I want to know this teacher's history because they keep alluding to shit, and I'm like, is it going to be important, or are you just like fucking with us? Because she's all like, you got a juvenile record, and I'm like, why is that important? Who is she?
I wonder if she's a Chucky victim too.
Like Twitter was blowing up. Twitter was blowing up with if she's Glinda or not, and I was like, I feel like if that were the case, she would have had a more of a response to that Chucky doll when it was in her possession. But Twitter got thoughts.
We'll see. But okay, so again with Devin's mom, so we have that scene, and in that scene, Devin says she didn't do it. I know she didn't do it, and the mom's like, "How do you know?" And he's like, "Well, I can't tell you that a doll did it in front of everybody, so I'm just going to not say anything." And then later on in the next scene, she's like, "I should have believed you about Jake." Well, if you can't believe it, you should have believed about Jake. You should believe about this. But then she redeems herself when they're talking about Jake, and she's like, she supports him, and I think that's a beautiful, beautiful thing. After Devin tells her that he does feel that way about Jake, I thought that was a really nice moment. And then she did in the episode, so I'm like, well, that roller coaster's over.
I wish I wrote down the exact quote from Joe's article in Bloody Disgusting. Joe from Horror Queers. He was writing about it and how she's a bad cop but a good mom apparently, and it summed up her character, and it's the eulogy she gets. Look,
and I just want to put this out there, Sharai, you got what you wanted on the first episode.
Listen,
and did you not? That tumble was a tumble. I was like, ooh,
I was like, it's too many staircases for me to not go down it. I was like, oh no, her neck is like in a different zip code now. And and again, I was worried about baby Devin, and I didn't know Devin's mom was gonna appear and be like, I'll be the victim.
Right. She reached the bottom of the steps and turned into Gabriel real quick on him. Like it was it was intense.
Gabriel strikes again.
Right.
It was just funny because like you see her and Bree being good moms, and so you're like, one of them about to die, and then Bree dies the most dramatic death I've ever seen on TV, and I'm like, okay, so Detective Evans is gonna live, and she's like, no, I'm not. And I was like, oh,
bitch got pushed out that window. Yeah,
when he blows in the kiss.
But that fall, it was definitely giving me Lady Gaga off Paparazzi because it was like super slow motion. And it was just like, I was feeling it. But like, then when she actually hit the car, I snapped back to reality. Like, oh, she's dead. Like, this is sad.
And right in front of her, like, look at my dead face, son. It's right in front of you.
I'm not even gonna get into Junior. I'm just not. I'm gonna vote for somebody who sparks joy. Like, okay. I need Fiona to win so many awards because every week they get a whole other level to her, and she like meets them at this challenge because she's playing Nika, she's playing Chucky as Nika, she's playing Nika pretending to be Chucky, pretending to be Nika. Like, it's just, I can't keep track no more. I'm just like, can we have like hold up a card? Because she got to do postures and voices for all these fools, and it's a lot like Orphan Black, but with only like two characters playing opposite each other in herself.
Truly.
You know what I like about the scene with like Nika clearly being Nika and Jennifer Tilly like getting hip? Yep. I like that they went in a different direction with it because at first I thought it was going to be, very, you're not Chucky. Chucky would never say something romantic to me and then kind of go down that road. But they completely just went somewhere else with it that was like much more refreshing and entertaining and unexpected. Like for her to be like, what type of couples does she say? Like married couples like me and you. I'm like, this woman, like literally, she will not take her foot off of our necks.
Never
at all.
I am in love with Jennifer Tilly.
Oh, 100%.
I feel like
I have a new life goal. I want Jennifer Tilly to teach me how to play poker because I have no idea how to play, and she plays it professionally, so I'm sure she's great.
I also just love her vocal choices with this Tiffany as Jennifer Tilly because like when she gets quiet and I'm like, oh no, it's maybe some violence, and when she gets loud and like her giggles, like when she runs off the realtor.
That was hilarious, by the way.
So good.
Yeah, his parents died here. Such great memories. Like, oh.
But also, I thought it was a really interesting choice that Tiffany says that she essentially would choose Nika over Chucky Nika. And I was like, that's a really interesting plot choice or character choice, I should say.
I think it's because she's ready to be the lead as opposed to the sidekick, especially because Chucky is just so toxic. And so I think she's like funneling whatever Nika looks at her as romance as opposed to pity or fear. Because she's used to Charles Lee Ray looking at her in a completely different way.
Yeah, I think that's probably right. And I think that she's kind of always been in love with Chucky, but kind of like sees Chucky as like even in Bride of Chucky and in Seed of Chucky too. She struggles a lot with some of the stuff Chucky wants to do because she's like, "Why are you doing this? This is crazy." And so I think we're seeing that even more played out in this incarnation of the story. And I think it's really interesting.
She likes people who are like, it seems like emotionally distant. And what's starting to happen with everything that's going on with like Chucky is this new iteration requires a lot of work from her that she is not into. Like, so it's like for her to pivot like this is actually really funny to me.
Yeah. No, she definitely was like, I'm gonna order this coat, and you see the picture of what the coat's gonna look like, and it gets there and it's a different color and a different length, and it's got like pleats and shit, and you like, this is not what I wanted. Oh, and so she can't send Chucky back, obviously. So she's like, I'm gonna make it work, but I'm gonna alter it a little bit.
Right. So fun.
I knew that we were gonna have to like go through a window because like the title card told us that because shards of glass is like what's gonna happen, and which like Bree shows up at the doctor's office like these are a lot of windows. Oh my god, it's gonna be you. But I was still gagged, gooped, and my body.
I mean, they did the damn thing. They did it. 100%.
It's my favorite death. It's my favorite death.
For sure.
Yeah,
For sure.
It was definitely like a really cool visual. And it was kind of funny because like, do y'all remember like as she was falling, his ass was like, like, oh, the drama of like, they don't waste, like they take advantage of so many moments and it adds to it for me.
I need Chucky to get a TikTok and I want him to do that TikTok that's like, am I the drama? I'm not the drama. Am I the villain? I'm not the villain. It's so good.
I hate drama.
You pushed her ass and you stand there talking some damn. It's everything. I was laughing at so many points like that. Like even when he was hugging the little girl, and then he says, "You made me do this." I almost lost my shit. And he stayed in it for a moment.
That scene, I had questions when I was done laughing because like the parents are sitting there and they're not like, "Is that a knife?" And then like the guns come out and they're not like, "Oh, these guns." It's not until they actually shoot Chucky in the forehead. They're like, "Oh, we gotta go into action." And I'm like, you just watched a whole little like Texas showdown go down. This is like a Western. And now you're concerned. Now that there's like doll blood in your carpet. And you're like, oh yeah, our kid also was in danger.
My favorite Chucky.
Like, why didn't y'all run?
Right. Or like grab the daughter. It's kind of like
Oh, I just showed how much of a parent I should not be. I definitely did say run, and Trent's like grab the child. I'm like, yes, absolutely. That's a good idea.
That was her friend. That's her problem. I have time for no friends.
I was definitely on Michael energy with fuck them kids.
My favorite Chucky one-liner in this episode was after Devin tastes him and he's laying on the floor. He's like, "I'm too old for this shit."
That part was funny and accurate. Like Chucky has been in so many different dolls over the course of like how many years has it technically been canonically?
Almost 40.
Yeah. And doesn't Andy and don't they say that how many dolls they've killed?
They did at one point.
I think it's like 30 or something. Like it's a lot.
I want to see those stories. Like we had to have it in a comic book, obviously, or a cartoon. I don't care. But like I want to see all the Chucky deaths.
Boom. Season 2. Let's do it. Don, call us up. We got storylines.
If we don't get a season 2, I will riot.
Same.
Okay. So I know Sharai doesn't want to talk about him, but I've got to get this off my chest. Junior. Okay, so after I get it. It's traumatizing. Your mother just fell on top of you, on top of a car, and is dead. I get it. But then to blame Jake, who had nothing to do with it, who wasn't even there, and he's like, "We were fine until you got that." Bitch, your mama still had cancer. She had cancer before Jake got there. She doesn't tell you.
Wasn't nobody in this town fine, especially Junior's boring ass. I need him to learn accountability. Because, like, he breaks up with Lexi right before shit goes down in this episode. And I'm like, you could have done that years ago.
But also, that annoyed me, too, because he broke up with her because you're not spending all your time with me. Sorry, we can't be together. Bullshit. Let her have her life. Even though I'm not a big Lexi fan, but let her have her life.
The fact that he made me like Lexi more is a problem. Like, because I'm rooting for her to die, and I'm like, at least she ain't Junior. What does that say about this character? Every week, I'm like, is she dead yet? Oh, but Junior's here. Who invited him? Look.
I thought this was going to be the episode. I thought they were going to kill her. It felt like they were setting it up to happen. And then when it didn't happen, I know I said she was redeemable, but somehow I felt like, damn, I actually was looking forward to her dying. That's interesting. It was like undulating in a deep, dark place.
I think it's still too early. I think if you're going to kill Lexi, it's got to be episode 8. Like maybe even the last one.
She has earned it. She has earned a death. That's all I know. It's all I want for her character. For the story.
I still say she's redeemable. Especially in this episode where Chucky's like, kill Jake. You know you want to kill Jake. He's like trying to manipulate her. And like she's obviously like playing with him because she sees him coming in there. And like as soon as he stabs Jake, she like goes to comfort him. And I'm like, this is kind of odd, but I'm here for it. I love a redemption story. I'm a cheese ball.
Is she comforting him or is she trying to keep him alive because she knows Chucky's after Jake and not her? And she's like, there's another target here. I don't trust the bitch. I won't trust the bitch. Every time Chucky's in the room with her, though, I call it thirst trapping because I want him to stab her and they won't. They're just teasing me. It's like, Chucky's here with a knife. What's going to happen? Nothing.
I did find it interesting, though, that when he did, because like when he shut that door and he said, I got you now, bitch. I was almost like, okay, she's done. Like, sorry, Lexi, you had a good run, girl. But here we are. But then he flipped it and then was trying to manipulate her. And I think that shows you where the Chucky knows where his true power is, and it's in his ability to manipulate people into doing what he wants, not necessarily doing it himself.
I knew she wasn't going to die because we just threw Bree through a window and we were only killing one regular character at a time until this moment. So I was like, oh, these are the rules. But I didn't know what was going to happen. I did not foresee these chain of events happening. I felt like they were going to kick in and it was going to be a tussle and Chucky was going to get away, obviously, or this one would die and another one would like be reborn or take his place like the Slayers. Or Nika Chucky would snap too. But I did not see all of this chaos that I love. Like, I don't know who is like the last 10 minutes of every episode must be heightened drama. It must be chaos. It must be an opera. Because, like, it's the last 10 minutes of these episodes for me every time.
Oh, yeah. 100%.
And something you said, Trent, like, is like what I love about this TV show, because I think one of the rebuttals that I'm always talking about is Chucky couldn't kill me because he's like so little. And so I would literally punt him. That's literally, I always feel like this.
Right.
But what you're talking about is what makes Chucky dangerous. Like, it's his influence. He can get into people through different means, like getting into their minds in this show. And I think it's effective, especially because they're kids. And he's literally like, he's grooming some of them. He has no loyalty, like he's turning against them any chance he gets. And it's really fascinating because that's literally what Charles Lee Ray is. He's an entity that went or got into something, and he's keeping that contagion going with the cult, and the cult spreading because he's still being like he's spreading now through the youth, and it smells like Teen Spirit, and it's interesting.
Soundtrack for the next episode,
right?
It kind of makes me what he was going to get into if he hadn't ended up having to go through a doll's body, because he does have those cult leader techniques, and he was reading the voodoo book. And so I'm just like, what was he playing if he had stayed an actual man? Like, what was that going to look like?
Well, because we're already seeing that even outside of what we saw in that first movie, he had other people in his pocket. He had Tiffany already, whereas I'm assuming she's not dead at that point. I don't know that we haven't gotten there in the flashback.
And Caputo too. Come to think of it,
Caputo, he still had Caputo, and he had like you said, he has the personality in some way to be charming and captivating. And I think that's why it was extremely smart for Don Mancini to go the route of Cult of Chucky in that film to start building this idea that he's now bringing into the television series. And I think it's
brilliant.
He's so good.
Right.
We are not worthy.
Right. Absolutely. That's going to be us next episode, like 30 minutes just doing this. We're like post-verbal at that point.
Right.
And like with the
voodoo like, is your neck okay? It's all right. It's a workout.
Look,
we are doing what we need to do at the altar of Tilly. It is what it is.
Listen, give her all the things. I as a 90s kid, I am familiar with Jennifer Tilly's work because you always would sneak and watch it because it was always like that late night HBO Cinemax Tales from the Crypt shit. So you're like, now that everybody's asleep, what's this about? And this is some of the best. She's getting to have fun. She's getting to breathe. She's getting to like have agency in a character that she helped create. And it's a beautiful thing to see. Like, this is one of those shows where I wish the acting would be recognized, which it won't because people piss on genre when awards roll around. But I feel like her and Fiona, if nobody else, should be considered because, again, like Fiona is giving us so many fucking layers every week, and every week is another layer on top of it. And then also playing her dad in the flashbacks, which I feel like has to be a mind fuck, even if you do have a good relationship with your dad. I love this. I love that we grabbed her from those last two movies. I was like, we're gonna keep you and give you more to do. Yeah, I'm a fan. I'm a fan of the ladies.
Me too.
I knew that about you, Sharai. I knew that about you.
I cannot. I like when you mentioned the voodoo book, Sharai, it actually because that part of the episode worked really well for me because like one of the things I hated about the original Child's Play is that they made it like a voodoo storyline, and for all the obvious reasons you make it this malevolent force when voodoo that it's just not the tea. But this one shows why the shit went wrong because his ass is sitting up here reading a Voodoo for Dummies. Like, of course the shit went wrong. Like, it was really like spot on. The moment he sat down and broke the book out, I literally said, I gotta take a break. And I literally went and made some ramen. Like, it was so fucking funny.
I love that they did that because we're always like, where did he learn voodoo? How did he pick up voodoo? Because he's in Chicago living his best white man criminal life. And I'm just like, who are you talking to that's going to teach you voodoo? And so for us to have this like random flashback when they kill somebody, take a car, and he's like, pop, voodoo for dummies. And it's like, well, that answered my question.
Yeah, that was such a fun flashback with both the actress playing young Tiffany and Fiona, because it's such a fun scene. And then when she like slashes his throat open, it's like, oh, I love the shade. I was like, this is high camp for everyone, and I love it so much.
Like, it also makes me happy because the first time we like meet Jennifer when she's the first time we meet Tiffany, it's in Bride of Chucky where she's cutting somebody's throat with what looks like a very similar knife. I'm gonna have to go back and make sure it's not too similar because I mean, if I keep in props, that's a whole other level to this that I was not ready for. But it was
Don Mancini's got a whole room that's just Chucky shit.
He shows up on those pods and they end up filming everything. It's like, put everything in here. We're gonna need it in a couple of years.
Yes. All right. Are we ready to get to tops and bottoms?
All my life.
My favorite part.
Right. It's on my resume.
All right. Well, let's go with our tops. Ryan, go with your top first.
Okay, these flashbacks. Like, flashbacks don't tend to work for me, to be honest. Like, they can kind of like break pacing, but they're adding another layer without damaging like the 40 years of Chucky lore. So I like the dimension they're adding.
It's adding and not like coming in conflict with stuff they've already said.
Yeah. It's like they actually paid attention to all the stuff that they've said in the IP, which that's painstaking because there's a lot of Child's Play in Chucky movies. Like, there's a lot of them, but they're taking their time and it's landing for me.
Yeah,
can you imagine what Don Mancini's Google Drive looks like just for Chucky?
Oh,
can you fucking imagine?
He had to pay to upgrade that shit like 10 times by now.
He ain't funded with his free stores like I am. He's like, no.
No. He's not deleting stuff to make a space for more stuff like we're doing right now. Like,
no, ma'am.
He's never been like copy document. Like, I need all of this. I have like 18 movies and 3 seasons of a show, some short films to make. I ain't got time to fuss with this. And the fact that he started in the 80s, it makes me wonder, like, was he like actually like one of the few people in the 80s who actually like had a legitimate computer, or was everyone with a fucking typewriter being like Child's Play?
Or does he just have thousands of notebooks that are just like piled up in his Chucky room shit, the Chucky shit room?
These are the questions people need to fucking ask him, because I'm tired of people not asking him these questions. Like,
Don, if you're listening out there, come on the show. We'll ask you. You can take your camera and give us a tour of your Chucky room, because I know you have it. At least one, if not multiple.
A Chucky home. A home for Chucky.
So nice. Oh my God. First of all, we wouldn't get shit done if he was on here. We would just be like this the whole time.
They'd be like, do you know who you are? And he's like, oh no, it's one of these.
Especially if there is like, because like y'all said, there has to be like a Chucky room, like you said, or a Chucky house. Like, he has to have like some exclusive shit up in there.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, 100%.
Oh yeah.
I can.
We'd be like, wait, go back. What is that? Zoom in, right there. Right there.
Right.
Wait, to the left.
Can I have that?
My address is.
Right.
Oh my God. Now I show up to the next thing we do live and Jennifer Tilly's wig, just like, what? Is this? Was I not supposed to take this? Oh my God.
The scream that would leave my body. I need you to know, if I log on here and you have on that wig, I'm not going to be good for business. I'm just going to shut down.
He's going to be like, out. I'm out. Leave the room.
Comatose.
Sharai, what's your top moment?
On, guys. Okay, so I guess I have 2 tops because I skipped over a note. Top number 1 is clearly, I got you now, bitch. Nobody can deliver a line like Brad. Like, that's just, let us not even pretend.
I feel like Don was like, Brad, this is your episode for one-liners because you got like 12 in this one episode.
Can you imagine coming in for the day and being like, I have 20 lines and all of them are got you, bitch. Got it. Thank you. And my other one is Devin with the taser again. That's big top energy. Whenever Devin breaks out the taser, I am pleased with him. That sparks joy for me.
Sharai, don't give their relationship labels yet. They don't know who's the top and who's the bottom. Okay.
Oh, but we know.
We know.
Let me stop. I'm gonna stop. That's true. I'm sorry.
They're like 12. We're terrible. Anyway. So yes, my top moment is Devin telling his mom and her reaction to it. It's very sweet. I'm a cheese ball. And I'm still rooting for Devin and Jake. That scene where they're sitting there talking about their favorite final girls and they talk about Laurie Strode and how she deserves and Jamie deserves all the awards. I was like, yes, that's who I wanted to be when I was 12.
I wanted them to say evil dies tonight, but otherwise it was perfect. It was perfect.
I feel like I heard someone say it. Like, maybe. No.
I think it was you, Ryan.
Right.
Evil dies tonight.
Who said that?
I'm gonna alter a clip, and it's gonna be like, I fucking love Laurie Strode. Evil dies tonight. She should deserve all the awards.
All right, Ryan. What's your bottom moment? We still love bottoms around here.
Yes, we do. I was about to say something. You be starting me, Trent. I was about to say, you be starting me. The first family, how like sweet they were, and like just letting people run game on their children. That was my bottom of the week, because I'm like, y'all just let strangers up in your house. They have weapons. They literally strapped up like Lara Croft from Tomb Raider. And y'all look like FBI agents, and you're saying you're with the Census Bureau. Like,
I did not buy that.
Cute.
Right.
I took one look at them and like, this ain't right. This is not right. If I didn't know who they was, I would know who they was.
The way my mom would not let census people like past the doorstep. I need you to understand this. It just was not realistic to me. Like, my mom be like, she talks through a crack. Like, she real life was like, oh, there's like, and then she would over exaggerate how many people in the house. I'm like, Mom, that they're not going to do anything. There's 13 people in this house.
There's 1,200 people. So
we're all of age and strapped. Like, okay, all right.
I was a census taker for a summer. Nobody lets you in their house, and nobody answers your questions. They look at you like you've done something, and it's like, and
especially when you bring up how many dolls you got, be like, you need to leave. You just need to go.
That's what I would have really been like. You know what? We fucked up. We ain't gonna fuck up twice. You gotta go. But also Charlie. Hi, I'm Charlie. I was like a lot of them.
He forgot who he was. It's been too many movies.
Yeah, he's like, oh no, not Andy.
I'm Charlie.
I'm innocent. I didn't do nothing. That didn't save Tommy's ass either, because Lex kicked his ass and Chucky's like,
oh my god.
But my bottom this week is everything about Junior. That's as specific as I can be. Everything about the way he breathes, the way he talks to people,
the way his hair moves in the wind, like
his hoodie choices. Everything about Junior. Everything about Junior's a bottom.
Yeah. And my bottom is Devin's mom arresting the teacher. It was hard for me to choose a bottom for this episode because it was like there were a lot of good moments, but that was the one I was like, really, girl, this is what you're doing. This is the choice.
The way she interrogated her also, which was just her coming in to threaten her, and I was like, Detective Evans, have you not done enough bad, awful things? Yo, sloppy copping is legendary. And she's like, I need y'all to remember who I am on the way out. And it was like, we will. Bye, Felicia. Bye, Felicia. I hope her first name is Felicia in this. I didn't actually check. Anyway.
All right, Sharai, what is our tweet of the week?
Our tweet of the week is from @ThackerayBinks86. It would appear that Chucky is a fan of Death Becomes Her. #Chucky, #Chucky TV series. And there's 2 images of Detective Evans at the bottom with her neck bent. And then, of course, one of fucking Death Becomes Her.
Love it. So much.
Yes, with Miss Merrill's neck also bent. And I didn't catch that because I just watched it. I just rewatched Death Becomes Her like a few months ago. And I wasn't like, this feels familiar.
I just not recently, like within this year, watched it for the first time. And I loved it. I don't know why it took me so long. I just flew under my radar. I know. Don't get me wrong, but I've seen it now. We're good.
It's the one time Bruce Willis had a purpose.
Oh my god. Why are we choosing violence today? Why?
Always.
But like you said, I didn't
catch it either.
I didn't catch it either. Like I didn't until like I saw it on the timeline. I didn't catch it.
I bet you with the movie, and I was like, turn this whole podcast around.
That movie is part of the reason I am gay. Okay, so do not play with me. Like after that day, I was like, oh, okay, I understand what I am now.
But yeah, this series loves its cookies. Like I just go back and watch all the little like things because apparently I haven't seen Cape Fear.
I haven't seen that either.
But apparently there's like a ton. Like one of Devin's lines is even like directly from the film. So
he's watching it in his room when his mom comes talk to him.
Right.
Oh, okay.
And some of the music cues and like some of the angles, I have not seen it since I was a child. And back then I did not fucks with thrillers. So I don't know if it's good or not. I know Robert De Niro's the bad guy and Nick Nolte's the good guy, and my childhood brain was confused by that. Right? Right? I'm like, huh? Who? And they were like, you're a child. Shh. And I was like,
All right. So thank you all for joining. Thank you, Ryan, for joining us again. Thank you, everyone, for watching and listening. Next up, we have a bonus episode because Sharai and I can't do math. And we're covering
You're welcome.
Cry Wolf with /her, and it's dropping Friday morning. So not a normal Monday morning. It's Friday. It's a Friday gift. It's a Thanksgiving miracle.
It is. It's the Great Turkey, Trent Brown. And we'll be back here next Wednesday, the day before Thanksgiving, talking about Chucky, because we're thankful for little Charles Lee Ray and all his hobbies. So check it out Tuesday on USA or Sci-Fi at 9 Central, 10 Eastern, so you can check us out and not get spoiled, because we're gonna talk about the shit, obviously.
And you know what's going down.
It might be the penultimate episode, because like it's either 8 or 10 episodes, and if it's 8, next week is like number 7.
Oh, y'all didn't see the one that said it was 16 episodes? I'm teasing. Let me chill.
Get out.
You know what, Ryan? I'm going to the tomb. I'll see you in 50 hours.
All right, y'all. As always, thank you so much for listening and joining us, and make sure that you stay fierce out there.
Bye.
Bye.